There's another thing I wanted to hit on is with you and your investments in your deals right now, you are seeing some capital come back to you in the form of a refinance. And just explain the process of that. When you receive the refinance, that enables you to go ahead and go in another deal. But tell us about the benefits of the previous deal the capital just came from.
Yeah, and that's a really powerful mechanism in these types of deals where you can kind of reload with current investment dollars into another deal. So I'll give you a perfect example. A deal I invested in about a year and a half ago. They went through, we're ahead of schedule, did a cash out refi. I got 84% of my capital back in that deal. And then with the cash flow, I mean, I almost had 100% back early on. And I got the cash out refi, which is 100% tax free. So that money came back to me. I took it and I invested in another deal, and had that money going to work for me. And I still maintained my equity position in my original deal. So it basically, I planted one seed initially, and it turned into another one. Now I've got two trees growing with cash flow spinning off, and then eventually that first deal will sell, and I'll get even more capital back, and then I'll invest in a third deal, and then that second deal I invested in will likely go through a cash out refi, and then I'll repeat the process again on a fourth deal. And that's really where it gets fun, this type of investing over time, because it starts to snowball, and it takes a few years of you making those investments and being disciplined and getting 8% on your money. I think is great. It might be minimal to some, but when you get that cash flow, I mean, that adds up over time. And that 8%, if you do look at it from a tax perspective of what it would cost you to actually net the 8%, and you're talking about like 11 or 12% return on your money that is just coming out of the deal. I mean, that alone it's a great investment, even without the equity piece. And the equity piece could easily be double that. So it's just, it's great from the standpoint of, again, the cash flow streams, and then how you're able to quickly, compound your returns when you're able to reinvest in a cash out refi. And a lot of times I see right around the 2-year mark is typically when that will happen. And it's also a time too that the operating partner might look to unload the property, because it's a very attractive acquisition for a REIT who wants to come in and buy something that's turnkey, and they want to just kind of coupon clip that cash flow. So you as an operator have great flexibility in like returning capital through a cash out refi, or potentially maybe selling the deal if the numbers are way better than the pro forma and you're ahead of schedule and you get that attractive offer. So that's the fun part of you're planning for a 5-year hold, but as an investor, I might have 50% of my capital back halfway through a 5-year hold. Now, the example I mentioned before is pretty extreme from a cash out refi, but generally what I see is between the 20 to 40% range. And if you couple that with 2 years of, that 8% cash flow, you're like 50% of your investment back, 2.5 years in. And I don't know many investments where you get, your capital back that quick. On the flip side, I've done other deals in other sectors. I've done some angel investing, and I might have to wait 7 or 8 years to find out if I'm going to make any money. I get no cash flow along the way. It's all back end, and 90% of the deals, I'm going to lose all my money within the first 2 years. And so I look at this as like, yes, I do some of that, and it's more risky, but there's smaller allocation that goes to it. But for what I do on a day in and day basis, I mean, to get 16 to 20% to basically double your money in 5 years, and to have the cash flow stream that allow me to live the lifestyle I want, to cover all my expenses. It just, for me, it's a no-brainer. And then the tax benefits I mentioned earlier are just phenomenal, and I don't think are truly appreciated until you actually go through and you get your K-1s and you see the paper loss. And it's pretty fascinating. And I know that the government rewards producers out there, and contributing to an investment in an apartment complex is only stimulating the economy and the community. And that's really important. And that feels good being a part of all this too, because not only are we making money, but we're making an impact and a difference in that community. And this is housing for people that want a nice place to live. And so I don't ever see some of those benefits going away because of the importance of this type of, capital that's needed to really, make some of these communities just a better place to live.
A really powerful